Earth 2020. Society is in ruins, and a virus runs rampant among the world's humble citizens. They are lost. In these dark times, three wayward nerds cross paths at the House of India and realize they are destined to be friends. And so they did. This is their story. The story of the Side Quest.
Welcome everybody back to the Side Quest podcast.
Before he even sat down, goddamn.
Yeah, gotta get you out your comfort zone because apparently there's some. We gotta put you on blast. Apparently.
Welcome back to the Side Quest podcast. My name's BJ.
I'm Luke.
And I'm Matt. Thank you.
The liar.
The deceiver.
So I do this thing every now and again where I want to connect with Matt on my favorite things, like The Bear Season 2. I'd be like, dude, just watch The Bear Season 2. It's so good. And then Matt will just lie and say, yeah, man, it's amazing. Even though he hasn't fucking seen it. And that happened again today because he said he was on the plane home from California. And he was like, hey, I just watched Shang-Chi for the first time. And I was like, so all those times we talked about how good the combat in Shang-Chi was, you were just lying? And he goes, yes.
No, that's not what I said. It was I just had seen, and you said you fucker. And then you were like, you know, you strike again. Wow, Matt, again. And even though The Bear, seen a lot of stuff like videos on the TikToks and YouTube where I've seen a lot of stuff that I'm like, wow, this is good. Shang-Chi, I've seen so much of that movie. Like the whole bus scene and the whole final fight, I've already seen. I just didn't know all the interconnecting points.
Was it one of those things where, like, did you ever say you've seen the movie, or was it where BJ goes, "Dude, that fight scene was sick," and you go, "Yeah, dude."
That's definitely what it is. I'm not like, hey, wow, did you? Let's talk about the exposition, the very beginning part. Remember that, Matt? I'm like, yes.
I can very specifically remember times where it's me and Luke, and we're like, yeah, I wish there was more stuff in the MCU like Shang-Chi, and then Matt will go, yeah, I agree. It's like you don't even know what the fuck you're talking about.
So about the other thing I did to you, the other thing I wronged you with.
Advance Wars?
Wars?
Yeah, so
this is just
it goes in this direction. Luke will say, hey, BJ, you'll really like this game. Like Yakuza, for example. He told me about that like 3 years before I actually played it, and I was like, yeah, whatever. And then I finally played it. And
I played it before you.
Yeah, technically, yeah, he played it before you did.
And then I finally played it, and now I'm the biggest Yakuza guy ever. I downloaded Mafia City for the fucking crossover, and it sucks balls.
Probably got all that spyware on your phone now.
Yeah, but I tell Matt things, and he does the same thing to me. And Advance Wars is one of those, because you were playing that isometric, it was like a mech game, and I was like, if you like this, you should play Advance Wars. And you were just like, And then you're on like a plane and you have nothing to do, and you're like, "Oh, here's Advance Wars."
So last night we get to the airport at Burbank, best airport to fly out of because it's just a small airport. Like I never have spent more than this is getting through TSA like more than 5 minutes.
That's dope.
Yeah, never ever spent more than 5 minutes going through TSA during through Burbank. And then it's also like the small type of airport where like they don't have a fly bridge, so you have to walk up the stairs to get into the plane out on the tarmac. So we get there, and the woman's like, "Hey, it looks like your second flight is delayed. You'll get in around 12:20. But if you want to have your layover in Austin, you'll get in, you'll get in at around like 1 on your original flight because of the delay." But if you take this other one through Austin, you'll get in around 12:20, and we're like, fine, let's just do that. If we can just cut as much time as we can off, and then on the plane out there, I get a text from my mom because Southwest has free texting, and she says, "Looks like your flight leaves at 12:20 now. It's been delayed like 2.5 hours," and I'm like, what? Oh my gosh! So we get there to Austin, we find like one of the only restaurants that's open. we get like a basket of chicken fingers and fries, and we each got like Carmen got like a martini and a glass of wine, and it was like a hefty cup of wine too, and I got 2 Bloody Marys. Again, all of that cost like $86. We were like, screw it, like we're just trying to survive out here, being like at the airport till 12:20, and so then I pull up the little Ambernick while we're sitting at the restaurant. And I will say though, BJ, what you said, some part of what you said stuck with me, because on the Ambernick, on the GBA page, there's like almost around like 980 files of different games.
There's a lot of games that come preloaded on that bitch. And
I will tell you, it was on like number 700. Because I was like, I looked down like the first 200, and then I was like I see this, but I was like, what if I just go up and start from 99?
Are they not alphabetical or?
They are.
No,
he started from the bottom.
Oh, okay.
Not mine. It alphabeticalizes the first like 200, and then it starts over again.
Oh.
I'll show you. It's very weird.
Yeah.
So then I start from like 900, and I work my way up, and then I see Advance Wars 2, and I was like, I feel like I know this. Like I've heard like there wouldn't have been like, out of all the crazy names of games that are on there, out of 900, I picked Advance Wars 2, and I was like, this is pretty sick. This is kind of like that mech game I played. And then I go,
Sure
hey,
is.
have you guys ever played Advanced Warfare 2? And then he goes, do you mean Advanced War 2? And I said, yes.
That's why when you said Advanced Warfare 2, I was like,
they didn't make Advanced Warfare 2.
I was the same way. I'm like, Call of Duty? Wait, when was 2? Am I missing a year? What happened? And then immediately it was like Advanced Wars. I'm like, oh thank God. I was like, what happened?
Yeah.
Am I in a weird did I get like, what's that thing, like the Mandela effect?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah.
was Black Ops 4 actually Advanced Warfare 2?
Yeah.
What happened?
So it's very good. It's quite difficult at times.
Yeah. A lot of the older like pre-3DS strategy games can get pretty hard.
There's one level that's really messing me up, but
I think Fire Emblem Awakening was like the first one that kind of.
Fire Emblem Awakening is the first casual friendly Fire Emblem, because if you start like one of the GBA ones, like one of your main guys can die in the first fight.
Yeah, and then you're fucked the rest of the.
Well, like, I mean, to me, it's pretty like, I'm sure not coding, but at least like how the layout of the game is pretty advanced, because like there's like so many different types of like units. And then you can have like units that carry units, and then you can put that unit that like is the troop carrier on another ship that carries like, like vehicles and stuff like that. And so it's it's quite good.
Yeah, I really like that formula, and I really like what's the name? Valkyria Chronicles.
Is this similar?
It's 3D.
That one's more in line with like, it feels like a mix of Advanced Wars and Fire Emblem. It's like, here's all your just big casts of anime boys and girls, but like it is very much like warfare, like
it's anime
tanks.
World War II.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing is, when I just today was looking up Advanced Wars, because I didn't know if there were other games that I
They have the
didn't.
Switch remake.
They just came out, and I remember then it clicked that we were watching one of the like Switch directs, and then because then I rewatched the trailer for the reboot ones, and I was like, oh my gosh, I do remember this. And then it clicked again when BJ was like, dude, this is a really good game. I think you'd like it, Matt.
Because the thing about the Advance Wars remake was it got delayed for like 2 years,
and then it got delayed again because of Ukraine.
And then everybody was like, this shit's not coming out till we achieve world peace.
But also, I heard it just also didn't do that well. Even though it's like pretty much a 3D, not 3D, but like
like a modern kind of
just graphics change essentially.
I mean they delayed it for so long, they didn't strike when the iron was hot. I'm sure a lot of people thought it was canceled. And then as far as strategy games go, I mean, to my knowledge, they're not that popular besides like the core Fire Emblem fan base.
Really? Do you have the newer one?
I don't think so. I might. I'll get
because
back to you on that. Because it's
1 and 2.
Okay. Yeah, like if you're not Fire Emblem or XCOM, you're kind of not. You're gonna be niche. Like even the Marvel game.
XCOM, I played XCOM.
Yeah, like
On
that's
the
kind of
PSP.
in terms of like.
Was it on PSP?
They probably there's.
I
like
think they had one on there.
Okay.
The thing is, XCOM and Fire Emblem are like the two biggest strategy games, and like unless you have like a known thing like the Marvel Midnight Suns or Mario and Rabbids, you're probably not gonna. You're gonna be very niche, anyways, because that genre already is niche as hell. Like Fire Emblem got as big as it did because there was a drought in the 3DS, and then Awakening happened. Like they've had Fire Emblem games for years, but Awakening
was supposed to be the very last Fire Emblem game, and then it sold so well that the series is still going.
Yeah.
What was the latest one?
Engage,
Which
is
what was
Not
one
as good as
before that?
Three
Three
Houses.
Houses.
Three Houses. I remember you guys talked a lot about Three Houses.
Great game.
Yeah, that one's fire.
Emblem. Three Houses.
Wow, we really are the Fire Emblem Three Houses.
You know what really is fire is another Crab's Treasure.
Really? Have you played more of it?
I love that game, dude.
Okay,
Like,
I saw a TikTok about it this morning, and that's the only thing I've seen about it. But it looks cool.
It's so much fun. Like if you're new to Souls games, if you ever wanted to try one out, this is the one to go with. Very accessible. They explain everything very well. The humor is hilarious. Like the dialogue between characters and the in jokes and the cursing, surprisingly, is very well done.
And they also have the gun mod.
Yeah, the gun mod. And I didn't know this until recently. I saw a TikTok about it for April Fools. They had Dark Souls mode turned on, and everything was like
desaturated.
darkened. And they changed Krill to have Solaire's helmet and his little cape.
Oh, that's great.
And I was like, is this game on Switch? And I looked it up, and it is on Switch. And I think they missed a big opportunity with Amiibo to
Put the
have the Solaire one on there and just turn that on. But it's incredible. I love it.
You know, there's a couple things. There's the whole Kendrick Drake beef going on right now, getting bangers like BBL Drizzy.
Mm-hmm.
It's wild. What you were saying though earlier is that, like, to me, a lot of it is just like, you know, it's not like the old school beef, like Pac and Biggie.
Yeah.
You know, like that was real shit. Like I still feel like even now, like I mean, it's how I feel about like other rappers compared to like 50. Like y'all like aren't shit. Like this guy really lived it, took 9 bullets. Like you guys are just, you know, gangsters in the studio.
Facts.
And
that's what my favorite thing about Kendrick is Kendrick is self-said.
I mean,
it's like
out
I
of
don't.
Compton.
Well, not even that. He's like
I mean, he is from Compton.
It's like
I'm
he
saying.
lived in Compton, but he's like I never did that shit.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't a part of it. Like that's why his album was called Good Kid, Mad City.
Mm-hmm.
It was like he was never was in, you know, thug. He never did any of that. And he's always been very introspective of his life. But then you got Drake over here talking about his shooters and all this other stuff, and you're like, bro,
Did you see the
You're
video?
from fucking Ontario,
you were
Canada.
on Degrassi.
You got shot on Degrassi.
Yeah.
So have you guys seen it's getting brought back now. There's an interview back when Obama was president, and there's some guy.
Oh yeah, and he's like
Kendrick
or Drake.
And he was like, I gotta go with my man Kendrick, which would be also the smarter move as president, sticking with the U.S. you know rapper. But I was like, dang, that's crazy. How, you know, they knew.
This whole thing has been so funny because every time Kendrick has dropped something, it's been like very smart, very like calculated.
Drake's is all reactionary.
Yeah, Drake's has always been like, "Hey, fuck you! You beat your
It
wife.
was
You're
like,
short."
all of them was like a day in between, and then he did 616.
Well, the way it
know,
was, you had
it was-
obviously Like That, which was the start of this because Kendrick was like, "Fuck the big three, it's Big Me." And
Well, it started with J. Cole.
Then J. Cole put out a diss and then said, I'm bowing out. Fuck that. I don't want to be a part of this. Which at first we all clowned him on.
The first one was J. Cole's song where he called.
Oh yeah, it was.
He called Drake, J. Cole, and Kendrick the Big Three, and then Kendrick
years later,
responded
Like
and said,
That.
"Fuck the Big Three, it's
Yeah.
just Big Me."
Which
Then
is the hardest line
Yeah.
of this generation.
Yeah,
And then you go, Drake put, like, people were like, oh fuck, Drake's gonna respond. Well, Cole responded, put out a diss track, felt bad about it or something. Then he's like, I deleted it.
after the beef started going between Kendrick and Drake, he apologized, removed the track from everything, from streaming.
Yeah.
and he was like, "I'm
out.
sorry."
Yeah, and then Drake drops Push Ups, which was like actually kind of hard. I was like, all right, cool beat, whatever. And then weeks, no Kendrick, no nothing, and Drake's, you know, trolling on social media like, when you dropping, bro?
Because Kendrick had to wait for Nardwar's schedule to be open for him to be like, hey, what do you got?
And then And then
Doodaloo.
he did that the AI freestyle on Instagram that got him in trouble with Tupac, Snoop
and
Dogg.
Snoop, who's still alive.
Well, apparently Snoop's cool with Drake, so he probably asked Snoop, "Okay, can I use you for this?"
Which is
He was
odd
like, okay.
because I feel like, I don't know, like West Coast rappers, well, at least mostly old school, are still like pretty tight knit. So
Yeah, the ones that are still alive.
yeah,
Then,
I mean, but it's that whole like Ice Cube. I mean, NWA, Snoop. So you got like Dr. Dre. Like all those people are like still pretty tight knit, but.
Still just dropping 2 diss tracks in a row with Euphoria and 616, and then Drake, he's like, all right, fuck that shit. Here's mine, and not 30 minutes later, go on and Meet the Grams.
Yeah,
which was fucking wild.
That was very calculated. He was just holding on to that one, waiting.
Apparently, the rumor is, and again, all this is gonna be rumors. You're gonna hear a lot of this throughout this beef stuff. Is Kendrick has 6 songs total. And Not Like Us was written right after Family Matters dropped. When he dropped Meet the Grams, and then dropped Not Like Us with a fucking DJ Mustard beat, and made it a fucking dance track that was, by the way, is playing in clubs right now.
Yep.
Like, it's straight up just in the club circuit.
I mean,
I'm like, that's
BBL
fucking
Drizzy
weird.
is one of the hardest beats to go.
Well, I'm not even talking.
Like,
I'm not even there
year.
yet.
Yeah.
But like doing Not Like Us,
I saw
and
an AI of Drake rapping over BBL Drizzy, and it was the funniest thing I've ever heard.
bro, this whole beef is so funny because it's like Drake's just been like, "Ha, you're short, and you might have beaten your wife."
And then Kendrick just goes, pedophile.
But not even that. Like, that's the biggest thing. But he straight up goes, "All right, you're a fucking culture vulture. All your people around you are fucking degenerate pieces of shit, and you fuck young kids. That's crazy." And then Drake's his response is, "Nuh-uh." That's what
I didn't do nothing with Millie Bobby Brown.
He's like, "Damn, I didn't say her name. That's crazy." I don't, bro. He's fucked. He thought he dropped the hardest comeback with the Heart Part 6, and that shit was like for a second you're like, oh, and then immediately when he dropped the line of, "Bro, I would have been arrested. I'm too famous for that shit." I was like, that's what the whoa.
If I was Kendrick, I would have titled that one "Time Stand Still" because that's the episode in Degrassi where he gets shot.
Mm-hmm.
He probably still can.
He might,
because if he really has 6, which
he can just make a whole fucking like.
He already
EP.
has 4 songs. He's basically got an EP of Drake disses.
Yeah,
and if he's got 2 more in the chamber, fucking release that shit.
Yeah,
like just go full EP with it, bro. Can you imagine? And if what his line in Not Like Us is true, where he's like, how many rounds do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 5. If he's got 10, where he's like, fuck it, I'm going all in on this boy, bro. That'd be crazy.
That would be pretty fucking wild.
I just love the one line that Drake said that I agree with is like, "I'm glad I can motivate you to release some music." And I'm like, I mean, shit, you're right though.
That's
Mr.
true.
Morale was what, 2 years ago?
Kendrick does have a pretty big gap in between releases, but the quality's there.
I was gonna say, you look at his discography compared to like Drake. Like Drake had a really good run from Take Care to Views. That run was fucking amazing. And then everything after that has been diminished in quality ever since. Like, it's been like very just varying.
Yeah.
I thought Scorpion was bad. Her Loss is okay.
Thank you.
Certified Lover Boy was terrible. I hated that fucking album. But nah, dude. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not in the rap world, but Kendrick wins. I'm gonna be honest.
It's crazy to me that that one gay dude in Atlanta that looks exactly like Drake. And there's those like videos of him like sucking dick and everything. It's crazy to me that no one has hired him to do like a music video.
It's got to be on the radar now. You know what I mean? Like now that everybody's willing to go against Drake.
Yeah, he's probably got some offers.
Yeah, could you imagine someone be like, "Hey, bro, I need you to like just grind on dudes for a video."
Dude,
that would be amazing.
Speaking of the other big beef, which is more in line with our podcast, we got to talk about old PlayStation versus Arrowhead, or just the Steam community.
Well,
yeah,
that whole thing was so like, it was so dumb to. I think it was stupid in general. Like, I understand a lot of companies do it, where you have to sign in with an account with them. But when you start your thing out there and go, "Hey, you don't like," they'll say, "Hey, you should put out a PlayStation Network account," but you can just say no, and then it's like, "Okay, here's the game still."
I mean, to be fair, I already signed in with the account I already had.
Well, and I think you had to do crossplay. So I think you had to have the PSN account to do a crossplay anyway.
Okay.
Because like if I play with you guys, then we had to, because I have it on PlayStation.
Yeah.
So, and that's the same thing with anybody, because that way they can use the PlayStation servers and not just like Steam servers or whatever else.
The only legitimate argument to that is that it takes away the ability to play in certain countries.
Yeah, which I didn't know. Like, again, I was there for like fuck it. If the community is against this, like, I'm all for it. Like, that was kind of like.
Well, that's the thing, is I didn't hear that until like a week into it, because one guy said it and then everybody started parroting it as their reason for not liking it. And it's just like, before that, you could have just signed up and not been a little bitch about it.
Well, yeah, again, I was like, I also don't like companies forcing me into it, so I was like, I'll side with you. Like, if this is what the community wants, I'm here for it. Like, I'm all anti big, corporations, especially when like they're like, it's to save you from, like, you protect your security. And then I saw a tweet where the guy lists like every single PlayStation hack, and I'm like,
what fucking security? You were the most hacked gaming.
Bro, that's yeah,
that's true.
Like, what do you mean? And
Yeah.
then it's like, if you would have said like, hey, we're building specific servers for it. We do need the network to make it more stable. Like, if you gave like a legit reason instead of security, people might have been like, I don't like it, but like I can see where he's like.
At the same time, though, it's like I'm going over like, I mean, we've seen like other studios that like BattleBit, for example, blew up. They did not have the infrastructure, and they were like, we're gonna take like the first thing we're gonna use our payout for. Like, first of all, they didn't get their payout for like months after, and they're like, we're gonna take out a loan from a lender that's not gonna like charge us interest because they know we're fucking good for it.
Yeah.
And we're gonna buy bigger servers. Like Helldivers 2 is maybe one of the best received games this year.
I would say most years. Like, for a new multiplayer game being
live service.
Yeah. Being almost universally loved has been crazy for it, because that's the thing. Most of these live service games, they'll get a pop and either die off or have like a very small,
we've seen examples
dedicated
of ones that have died before, even dropping, like fucking the Suicide Squad game.
Dude,
Suicide Squad. Pretty much every one that PlayStation has made in the last 2 or 3 years that isn't Helldivers gets like maybe 3 seasons and then it's gone forever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it's like, clearly if they're like, they need more server space. We've seen like companies be like, yeah, we can build new servers. Like, we can buy that, especially with like well-received games. But
yeah. This felt like
it's
a
just been
weird.
incredible though. Like, I'm at the end of it, I'm really glad it happened. I love, because now like the community is like, all right, we'll reverse all of our like Steam reviews. And
Well, I'm glad that worked for Helldivers, because Ghost of Tsushima is still implementing it.
Really?
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, what's
Even though that's
the
the
PC
other
port of Ghosts.
Oh, you have to sign in.
You have to sign for the multiplayer,
Oh, yeah.
not the single player. But yeah.
Well, that was another like TikTok I saw where they're like, guys, like, if you really want to get like PlayStation and Sony's attention, like, stop, like, cancel your pre-orders for Ghost on Steam. Like,
The problem
hurt their pocket.
The problem is that people, Ghost is an optional multiplayer component that isn't even like a live service. It's like, you can play it and finish it. People are gonna get Ghost for the single player game because they've seen how good it is.
I didn't even know it had multiplayer.
I didn't know until you just told me right now.
It was a free thing. It was a free multiplayer drop, and it's like it's not like you can play this forever. It's literally a set standard of missions. You can go co-op or with, I think, 4 people.
And also,
and you just play through it.
That's bullshit, because in the Last of Us remake, they just completely removed the multiplayer, didn't they?
Yep.
So fuck you.
Yeah.
Isn't there also an Uncharted multiplayer?
Yeah.
Uncharted 4 multiplayer, which the servers are still up on PS4 and 5.
I don't know how much longer though. There's rumors that it might get shut down, because I know Last of Us's servers, I think, were getting close to being shut down. But then when they canceled Factions, the standalone, I think those servers are staying up for a little longer because of it.
There's this girl on TikTok that I've only ever seen her post once, and it was about the Uncharted 4 multiplayer. She's like, I think I might be the only person that plays this. Every day I get home from work, I immediately go into Uncharted 4 multiplayer. I don't think anybody even knows that it has multiplayer, but I'm the one that's playing this.
Yeah, I mean, even when I brought it up, I didn't say it confidently. I was like, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Does it not?
Well, that's the thing. That was in that era where even before that, I think 2 and 3 had a multiplayer component somehow. Where I feel like it was like a lot of games just had a multiplayer mode. Like Assassin's Creed had it, Uncharted had it. Like any game then where it's like, here's your single player game, we also have a multiplayer section.
Here's the other thing, because like I know there's like, I mean, every single company you go to, they're always like, hey, let's like sign up for our newsletter or sign up with our app, like, and like there's other stuff that just it doesn't make sense. Like I don't understand unless PlayStation's whole goal is like, no, we're just going to sell you private information and then that's free money.
100%. That's what it was. Like I again, if
like
there,
I don't see, because companies never do anything without monetary incentive.
Yeah. Which
what's the fucking incentive to get people to sign up for PSN, like, or to connect?
I mean, it's still monetary incentive, but could you imagine the shareholder meeting of look how many members we have, look how many members we got,
look how many new signups we have.
Yeah. And to a guy in a suit, he's just gonna look at the numbers. He doesn't give a fuck how they got them. Just, oh yeah, cool. PlayStation Network is up. We can now sell this, and this to these members, or we could do this to the, you know, that yeah.
I mean,
it's
to
100%.
be fair, I feel like this is in like 3 years.
It was a greedy thing.
In 3 years, it'll probably happen, because maybe like servers will slowly die. Arrowhead will get smaller. You know, they're gonna divulge more of their.
I wonder how
redirect
long...
more of their like staff and like money into like newer projects, and so they're like, oh yeah, if you want to keep playing, you're gonna have to switch over to PlayStation so you can play on the PlayStation servers.
I do wonder what the longevity of this game is, because I know PlayStation wants a Fortnite. They want a forever game. I don't know if Helldivers 2 is a forever game, because I feel like at some point there is a thing where it's like, all right, well, what else do we do? You know, like, you're gonna have your hardcore, sure, but I don't think it's gonna be a multiplayer game that has the long hill up, and then I think a slow decline of, okay.
I mean, what I think is the very impressive with it is their like
feedback,
the map,
roadmap,
the roadmap for stuff, because I haven't felt like it's been stagnant. Yeah, even though, to be fair, like, and I think it's smart, like, because I don't want to burn out like too fast on this game, that they're keeping the Illuminate, which is now, like, I mean, with all the leaks, is the confirmed third faction. Yeah. But them holding back on that, I mean, because they've done like a bunch of little things where it's like, depending on like the type of like where we are in the major order, it's either a defense or an offensive campaign, so that changes the mission types. And then they're like, oh, because we you know, we did this mission where we pesticide the whole planet. Oh, now we're getting like
robots.
Well, we're now getting now fight the robots, but now the pesticides are making these new missions. Now you're going back to the pesticide plants, and they're overgrown with like bug layer. And now you're getting like, they're saying like the bugs are evolving, so we have to get rid of them before they evolve to, and essentially it's going to be
what you
like,
don't know is that
teasing like toxic like variants of enemies.
What you don't know is that pesticide actually was like a what's a
like a steroid,
a birthing thing for them. Like, it made them like reproduce
faster.
Actually,
like in Evolution. Evolution, where fire makes them grow big.
That shit was so good and so stupid. I fucking love
so
that
good.
movie.
I have two movies that I would really, I think are good ones. One of them I haven't seen.
Nice.
It's called Congo, and it's it's about
is it about the war in Congo?
They bring this. They're going to the Congo to like, you know, like do adventuring, like, you know, like exploring kind of shit, and they bring this monkey named this gorilla named Amy, who knows sign language. and the monkey has like one of the Nintendo power gloves, and when she does the signs, it like in computer goes like, Amy loves you. And it looks horrible, and I really want to see it. And the other one, well, I don't know, but I was thinking about that because I haven't even seen that movie, and it looks terrible. So, yeah,
love that,
dude. But like, did you hear that people were making for Helldivers like capes? That was the Steam review charts, Luke.
I didn't. Oh, like the negative reviews.
Yeah, it's literally the lines, and they were like they're like, you should do the cape. The CEO of Arrowhead says, this is a confirmed cape. We are just trying to figure out a name for it.
Well, that's what I love about it is, dude, what sucked about that whole situation is, like, you know, there's varying opinions or whatever, but Arrowhead themselves are like, this sucks. And like
Did you see the tweet of him where it's like the gif of the guy sitting in a chair and the whole house is on fire?
Yeah. Yeah.
You sent that tweet out.
The one that kind of got me to be like, I'm on the community side was when people were like, was someone tweeting out like, I live in a place where now I can't play. Like, what do I do? And the CEO over here is like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
I mean,
have
even
nothing.
this like devs.
I mean, it's clearly not Arrowhead's fault.
Yeah,
They're just the middleman of this
I mean, and
shitstorm.
the community also understood that, and I think it was the CEO that was like continue to do this.
Yeah,
This
like
is,
review bomb, like let them know what you feel
like
about it. Yeah.
he like I mean, if anybody knows the love that the community has for the game, it's the developers.
Yeah.
Like, there's been such engagement there, like such public engagement. It's better than I'd say like 90% of the games that come out.
What's funny is like it, you know, the game being about like, you know, greedy government, like greedy leaders and people in power, like making decisions for the stupid sheep, and then Sony goes and you need a PlayStation Network account, so for safety reasons, and the community immediately is like, go fuck yourself. This is fun in game. It's not fun when I have to live through it. Even with a minor reason, and it's like, dude, yeah.
Let me pretend fascism.
Yeah, it's like, let me pretend in universe that this is cool.
Yeah.
I don't like it when it happens in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fascism? I remember.
It's funny.
Maybe Chewbacca again.
It's funny because you have this, and now you have a Sony reversing the decision, and be like, hey, you no longer have to have this. We're not going to go through with this decision.
Careful.
Yo, wow.
What to do.
If you don't have a PSN, you'll be fine. And it's like, oh, sick. Sony like walked it back. This is a good thing. And you go across the pond to Xbox, and it's like, Xbox is instead of shooting them, well, I guess they're shooting themselves in the foot, but instead of making their own blunder, they're out shooting their studios in the back of the head, being like, you're gone, you're gone, you're gone, and you're gone.
I mean, there was talks about them wanting to like get Helldivers on Xbox, but I don't think that's happening anymore.
Well, I don't think it's. I think that was more so rumor from, or at least
I think
saying,
that's why they were implementing the PlayStation thing.
Oh, so you had to?
Yeah, because playing Minecraft or anything else that Xbox makes on PlayStation, you got to sign in with Microsoft. So,
Yeah, so now it wouldn't happen because they could get all those Xbox players.
exactly.
So we killed it, but we also won.
Well, they might still if
We won
there's
the
if
battle,
there's enough
but we
money
didn't win the war.
if there's enough money to be made, they're gonna do it regardless, because it's like, well, the money is
40.
that
That's
way.
that's the part I don't understand. It's like you want PSN signups, which again shouldn't cost anything, doesn't increase any sort of number in your budget. But let's say 100,000 people, which is a light number on Xbox, buy it. Doesn't mean continual player, just bought. That's $400,000. You could make at least like $500,000 just by releasing the game on Xbox.
And even then, like, that's not counting that. Well, sure, we probably don't pay for the microtransactions. Someone will. Like, I guarantee you, Arrowhead and Sony have a draft of, yeah, here's the people buying credits for skins.
Well, the other great thing about Helldivers is a lot of people don't buy skins. They just use their. They don't buy credits.
After the first time I bought credits, there was that like snow trooper looking armor in the shop. I bought that, and then since then I've never needed to buy credits.
Yeah,
same here.
I bought one outfit, which was my weird like Sith Inquisitor look that I was rocking with.
Within
like after
the
that,
next week, the Jinro helmet is coming out.
Nice.
And I'm never taking it off.
Did we talk about the Spy Family movie on here?
Yes, we did.
have.
Yeah.
That was such a funny moment in the theater.
Yeah. Exactly. Like, yeah, as I said before, it's like out of my corner of my eye, I could see the corner of your, like, we turned at
the exact
same moment. Because by the time we met, I had already started laughing because I already had started to see you turn over. Great movie. Speaking of, that clip of the American superhero in
Star and
Stripes, is that in the new season?
Yeah.
That's the
That's
first episode of the new season.
So Shigaraki goes to the U.S.?
No, she comes from the U.S. because there's this whole thing where they're like, hey, we need to send out requests to other countries. We're getting fucked in the ass. Please help us. And every other country in the world is like, nope, not doing it.
And then Bald Eagle screeched.
But America was like the first one to be like, we're not going to help. And then Star and Stripe is like, fuck that, I'm going to help All Might. Get me my fucking jet boys.
Didn't we learn how
get me my
like,
fucking
their connection? Because when he studied in America,
he saved her as a little girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And her power is just like air.
Her power is she's a fucking genie. She can just make 3 things true at one time, and that's it.
What?
Yeah, like she says a thing, and then that thing is true now.
But she only gets 3?
She gets 3 at a time, and then to do another one, she has to like delete the first one on the load list.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's fucking bullshit.
But she probably can't wish for anyone to be dead.
I mean, she like I think she says
I don't think they actually mentioned that. I think she technically could, but she can't just say die.
There's a thing where she's like, I could like make a rule where his heart stops, but he has the heart restarting quirk. And it's it's just
Stars
a
and
bullshit
Stripes.
battle.
Stars and Stripes is the first time I think I read my hero. I was like, "This, what the fuck?"
Yeah, that's where it jumps the shark.
That was Mr. Smiley for me 100%.
Well, Mr. Smiley has rules though.
Speaking of Mr. Smiley, I met a man named Mr. Smiley at the hotel. He came in. His name was John Smiley, and I was standing at the desk and I was looking at the computer and I was like, "What's your last name?" And he goes, "It's John Smiley." And I stopped. And in my head, I wanted to say it so fucking bad, and I didn't because I knew he'd be like, "What the fuck,
Mr. Smiley?" That he would have been like, "Oh,
well,
he's definitely
Mr.
autistic."
Smiley's at least his power, while overpowered, at least kind of functions.
Yeah,
in a
there's
rule,
ways
like,
around it.
Yeah, whereas Stars and Stripes is quite literally like there's a Bleach character named Grimmy who's his whole thing. His power is if he imagines it exists.
Yeah, that's Stars and Stripes.
But unlike Stars and Stripes, he doesn't have a limit. And it's like, oh, then how the fuck do you win? And it's like, oh, you find the guy who doesn't give a shit. And I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? With Stars and Stripes, it's the same thing. Where I'm like, just kill him. Like you can make you're a genie. You can make 3 wishes come true. Basically, fucking kill him. I got super creative in like an hour, and I could come up with ways that you could just kill Shigaraki. But they're like, nah.
I'll tell you right now, she does lose, obviously.
Yeah.
But the way that battle ends is it's
actually
cool and creative.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I remember reading it, being like, what the fuck is going on?
So I'm guessing we're getting this next season before we're ever getting the movie.
Yeah, the movie apparently is this summer, and it's just gonna drop in the middle of the season or something.
I wonder then what. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I'm okay with that. Like, I'm definitely not. I definitely want to continue the story, but
I was
a movie is a nice like
palate
break.
cleanser, like a
Yeah,
between thing,
100%.
I think the way I have a good idea of how they could set that up because the next season is obviously just gonna be the battle with Shigaraki.
Did you see the opening?
No, I haven't. Is it One Republic?
No, but it's the Tokyo Ghoul opening singer.
Oh shit!
And the opening is just is Deku running through destruction, but like high fiving all his 1A group, like dapping him up as he's going to fight. I'm like, this is actually kind of sick.
Oh yeah, but there's this part where it's like, oh, Star and Stripe got fucked up. I guess we need to come up with a new plan. And then the night before they implement the plan, Deku and Uraraka like go onto the roof, and he's like, "Hey, I need to talk to you about some stuff." And so I think that is the point where you slot in the movie for him to be like, also this happened in that conversation.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I want. Are you gonna? I know you probably won't, but are you gonna wait for the dub?
Yes.
Okay.
I just
because I know you watched it all in dub.
You
right?
say that, and then we finish the most recent dub season. We watched the rest of it in sub, and then we went back and watched Japanese OVAs that were never released anywhere outside of manga volumes.
we didn't finish it. Did we finish it? Oh, we did. No, that was Spy Family. We finished in dub.
We watched a couple. I mean, we
season
watched My
2.
Hero in sub.
I don't remember that, but that's on
We
me.
did at least one of the movies.
Well,
Oh yeah, the movies for sure.
I mean, are you just so used to the dub voices?
Yeah, and
whatever now?
and meeting the voice actors was really cool. I think I'm just gonna try to stick with that.
I mean, the dub for My Hero is pretty unrivaled.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, we've said on this podcast, but like dubs nowadays are actually really fucking good.
Yeah, and well, it also helps like in the Spy Family, like where it feels like the voice is very similar.
Yeah.
I will say though, it is, especially on a big screen, it is hard when you're looking at the lower third. It's easy when you have the TV here and everything's in my eyesight.
Yeah.
But when you're going to a movie theater and the bottom third is where you have to pay attention to dialogue, I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so. But the voice acting I feel like is tonally very similar. Like
They've been doing a
between the
good job.
characters.
They've been doing a good job of that lately. Where like, yeah, Spy Family is a perfect example where Anya sounds like Anya no matter dub or sub. Lloyd and Yor sound. Very
It was
similar.
like one of the hardest transitions to going from sub to dub, going from My Hero, because I have always watched it in subbed, and then switching over to the dubs. I'm like, they don't sound like the.
Wait, you
people.
watched it all sub first? Mm-hmm. My Hero?
No, not I said My Hero. I meant Full Metal.
Oh, okay.
Full Metal. I watched.
I watched
sub.
See,
The
I
Full
think
Metal dub is peak.
I've never seen Full Metal in sub, so I wouldn't know. There's it pretty much the way that I've kind of run it is that if it has an English dub, I'm watching it there. And then if it doesn't have the dub, but the show's really good, I'm not gonna let that stop me from watching it.
Yeah.
So like Attack on Titan, I've only seen in dub. Vinland Saga I saw sub because they didn't have a fucking dub out for a while. So that one I've seen. But like most shows, it's like, oh, you have a dub out? I'm watching the dub. Just because I'd rather just kind of watch it and not read subtitles.
Some of the best dubs.
Luke, can you grab that?
You want to have it after you want?
I want one of those, please.
The best dubs are My Hero, One Punch Man, and Mob Psycho, in my opinion. When you do comedy and you translate it well, it hits.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't. I only watched the amount of Mob Psycho that we did.
Bro, okay.
And then
no,
you
hold
kept
up,
on
hold
watching
up.
more.
Fucking
Yeah, I'm in season 2 now.
dude, this show's fucking great, isn't it?
It's amazing.
Dude.
Reagan is one of my favorite characters of all time.
Can I add that to the board of me saying y'all might like Mob Psycho, and both of y'all were like, oh yeah, maybe, and now you're watching it and you're like, this shit's fire.
Yeah, I mean,
I want to add that to my board.
you can add it if you want.
Okay, I will. Well, that's the
I'll
thing.
give you
We
a
all kind of
Bronze
do that.
Star for that.
The thing is, we all do that constantly, where someone will say you'll like this, and it usually takes a while. Like the Fallout TV show is mine, where it's like you guys, no, dude, you'll
Did
like
you
it.
finish
And
it?
I was like, no, I still have only seen the 2 episodes. Dude, I cannot get a fucking break at work, and anytime that I'm at home, I'm like, I'd rather just play a video game
For sure.
and take my anger out on
So have you
trash
finished
mobs.
Rebirth?
Actually, no.
You're on the last mission. You told me this 3
Yes.
weeks ago.
I can't. I like it. Like fun. I start it.
You have to.
I start the mission and I'm like,
God
I'm
damn
gonna finish it, and then I sit there, I watch a
He plays
cutscene.
Assassin's Creed again.
I hope you're happy sitting on Rebirth so you can hold on to your PS5 and BJ can't play it because he doesn't have a PS5. Fuck you.
You sold your PS5. That's on you.
You sold your soul.
Because they didn't come out with anything for it.
Well, now they do, and now you don't have one.
If they just
Hey,
fucking did
speaking
PC
of
releases.
dub, one of our favorite dubs is our sponsor, Dubby. You like that segue?
That was okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
We were past it, but you go off, King.
well, yeah, because you started talking, I was like, that's a really good segue. Anyways, Dubby is our sponsor. If you want some, some hydration from their new hydro flask that give you the electrolytes you need to stay refreshed, or some caffeine from the coffee bean extract to get some jitterless energy, you can get those and some sweet t-shirts, shakers,
Shakers and hats that you can leave at your podcast recording house every week.
yeah, or some keyboard or some mouse pads. All of those you can get with a sweet discount of 10% off
here.
if you use code Take It Sleazy at checkout, and helps us out. Anyways, moving on.
I have some gaming news. I texted you this. I don't know if I texted you this, but I was playing Fallout 4, and loving the game. By the way, I think we're all playing that a little bit.
Yeah.
Brotherhood of Steel is the way to go.
100%.
Everybody else is a massive
no,
pussy.
You said no because we were all like, "Ad Victorian, brother."
I said add fucking Victorium right after you said that.
Yeah, I'm saying so. It was us and you texted me as well, not just BJ.
I said
He said he texted us.
No, you said I'm not sure if I texted you.
no
man.
about this thing. I'm not there
Oh,
yet.
okay, sorry.
I might have said that wrong. Sorry. No, okay, yeah. But we're all Brotherhood of Steel. The only downside is that they don't fuck with Dance and Nick. But you know what? That still better option than the rest of the fucking Wasteland.
They also don't fuck with my favorite character, which is what's his fucking name from the Railroad?
The Railroad would be Deacon.
Deacon is my favorite
Do you see the theory of
because
who he is?
he shows up when like almost like every third time you see him, he's in a different outfit.
Yeah. Do you know?
And that's my favorite. And sometimes he's just naked, and it's my favorite thing. Where
Do you know the
just,
theory of who he is?
who?
He might the theory, and again, could be completely
Yeah.
false, but that he's the Fallout 3 protagonist, the Lone Wanderer.
Really?
It does make sense because they have that synth that he helps in 3.
Yeah. Plus, the rumor is that Sarah Lyons was replaced with a synth in 3, and then she was killed by Maxon. And then or she was killed, and Maxon, the reason he's so against synths is because, you know, Sarah Lyons is somebody he looked up to, whatever else, and he's like, fuck all synths, get rid of them all. And for the Wanderer, you had Harkness in 3, the synth, and then if Sarah Lyons was a synth, he still, again, the theory-wise is the canonicity is that him and the Wanderer and Sarah Lyons fell in love, she dies, and he goes to try to help synths down the road.
I love Sarah.
And she's great. And then, yeah, now he meets the railroad, joins the railroad, tries to help them out, and then Maxon shows up with the fucking Pridwin and everything.
Well, that would make sense why he's always changing outfits, because it changes his stats.
Well, also
But it's just so funny, and he's also so sassy, and it just makes sense in the Wasteland. He's just such comedic relief.
There isn't really a bad follower, with the exception of Preston.
There's that synth from the Institute that sucks dick.
Oh yeah, well, because Kate, Piper, Curie, Hancock, Codsworth, Nick.
What's the super mutant?
What is it? Not Fox. Fox is in 3.
Yeah, Fox is 3.
Strong.
Yeah,
just Strong. He's great. I love him. He's my boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like the companions are great in 4.
The first one mod I downloaded for 4 was your favorite companion, and it just perma dog meets as your companion.
That's the thing. Yeah, the first companion you get is just a dog. You're like, yeah, this game's fucking rules.
Yeah,
but
and I'm always trying to keep him around.
That I have a story to tell. While you guys were gone, Lance, I always move his bed into my room because, you know, I don't want him to be lonely. And I was playing Fallout 4 at night, and I was doing the mission where you have to like follow Dogmeat to find Kellogg. Mm-hmm. And he was making a lot of dog noises. Dogmeat was. And Lance got out of bed and came and sat next to my bed and watched me play. And every time Dogmeat would like attack a ghoul or something, he'd go. It was the best.
Bro,
he's a good dog.
Kellogg's outfit.
Like, I don't just say that. Like, he's actually just a real good boy. I think there's there's something about him. He's a real special dog.
Yeah.
He's smart. He's kind. He's weird.
Smart, kind, weird. Perfect.
He's also like just seems to not age.
Yeah. Like, how old is Lance?
He's almost 12.
Yeah, like, holy shit. Doesn't look over a day over like 5.
And he plays like he's not a day over 5.
Yeah, like, Jesus.
He's constant. If I go to the store for like 15 minutes, I come back and he's jumping all over me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's got the energy of a young pup.
Yeah, so.
But the reason I wanted to bring up Fallout 4, obviously, you know, we're all playing it. Fallout's hype. This new update fucked me.
So your mods?
No, I didn't have any mods on, nothing. I was playing vanilla, just with the next gen update. One of the Creation Club content they add to the game bugged out, so the gun doesn't show up, and if you shoot it, it's just a giant red exclamation point that shoots out into the world. And I'm like, oh, okay, so it's
awesome.
fucked. And then I was doing a mission later. It was like a side mission for the Brotherhood, and I went and saved it, and then my game says, there's not enough room to save your game. I was like, what the fuck do you mean? And then I then paused the game, and I was like, and I went down and I quick saved it, and it saved. I was like, okay, so what the fuck? The second I hit B to get out, it just froze. And like it stuck there and I was like, maybe it's just like loading. I let it sit for like 30 minutes, nothing. So I closed it out, closed the game, booted it back up, and you know the gray like your special like Bethesda logo, it starts the animation for a second, then stops and freezes there. And I tried for hours, and it would not go. And then I finally re-downloaded it. My save file's corrupted.
That blows.
So I was like, yo, fuck Fallout 4. I hate this game. I love this game. But, like, I was so pissed because I was actually like,
what Creator Club mods did you have?
it's the ones that come with the next gen upgrade. So it's the Enclave thing, it's the Halloween themed whatever, and like some weapons.
What are you playing on?
Xbox.
Really?
Yeah, and it comes with those. That's the thing, is I can't take those off. It's just part of the update.
Yeah, it's like the Skyrim Anniversary Edition or whatever.
And yeah, so I can't just take them off, and at least I don't think, if I can, I will. Fuck, I'll happily just have vanilla Fallout 4. But I mainly wanted it just because I'm like, oh, it runs at 60 frames now, and it's got a performance, but like, cool. That was, and then it, you know, Fallout Fever, everybody's talking about it, so I wanted to play it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got mad. I just was like, fuck, and so then I was just kind of like, I was like sitting there, like, I was like, I could watch the Fallout show. And I'm like, I gotta be at work in like a couple hours. I don't know. I was like, fuck it. And so I didn't play anything for the rest of the night. For the next few days, I kind of just sat on my phone. I was like, because I was so pissed at like my save file being corrupted. So then, but I was like, you know what? I want to play Bethesda game. And so I decided to do a coin toss. Fuck it. Coin toss. There you go.
There it is.
Heads.
I decided to you know what I mean.
You know what I mean.
No.
Heads was New Vegas. Tails was Skyrim. Two favorite Bethesda games. And I was like, fuck
Skyrim, wasn't
it was Skyrim.
I knew it.
And I was like, fuck it. And so I started a Skyrim playthrough.
That's still crazy that you just don't like Skyrim.
If it was good, I'd like it.
I mean, to be fair, I fully understand why he wouldn't. Well, like, what are your main reasons for not liking Skyrim? Like,
Well, the problem is I started with Fallout 3, and then I played New Vegas, and then I tried to play Skyrim, and there's no targeting system, and it's mostly, like, at the beginning of the game at least, it's really shitty bows and hand-to-hand combat. And the hand-to-hand combat with, like, melee weapons and shit has never been good in Bethesda games.
yeah.
I'll give you hand-to-hand combat sucks. The best parts of Skyrim is Stealth Archer and Mage. Hands down.
And the only reason...
No, Mage is awful. Especially early game Mage. You have no mana pool. You got to just hope to God you can kill.
Okay, late game.
Yeah, late game Mage when you have to cheese your way through
and
it.
Stealth Archer.
Yeah, well, stealth never fails. The combat is pretty bad if you again.
But the hand-to-hand, like the sword swing is so clunky.
Yeah, it's so clunky, and then like it can easily miss if your reticle is off of them. Even though your sword goes through the character model, the reticle was off, so it doesn't hit. And I'm like, go fuck yourself.
And the only game that's ever kind of worked in is Fallout because of the targeting system.
Yeah.
And I feel like they definitely could have implemented something like that in Skyrim and just explained it away with like,
Dragon vision.
you have fucking dragon vision.
I think
dragon
that,
shit.
I like on one hand I like that they differentiated the two because I feel like if you would have added a VATS to Skyrim, it would have just been like, oh, this is just like you make the same game. Which they do anyway, but like, that's kind of one thing I liked in Starfield. There's no VATS. It is just kind of like,
But everything else sucks.
yeah. But
the gunplay in Starfield, I hope that they implement
It's
into
so
Fallout.
good.
so good.
It's so good. I can't. Yeah, that is the biggest.
gun-
I can't give that like enough praise.
The biggest problem with Starfield is the expiration. Is that there really isn't any.
Well, that's the thing.
Kind of the problem with because Bethesda games are known for that, and so.
That's why the next Fallout is going to be the best game they've ever made.
It's so hard to just show up on a planet and do something, and you're like, oh, but I gotta walk, and there's only these 3 things on this whole planet, and now I gotta also walk forever, and it's too.
Hey, they're adding a buggy at some point. I mean, I'm very interested in what the next Fallout will be because there's no way they're gonna wait for Bethesda to make.
Yeah, it's going to be another New Vegas situation.
Elder Scrolls 6 is the next.
Wait, is New Vegas made by a different studio?
Obsidian,
the original studio that made Fallout 1 and 2, Obsidian, because they were after 3, they were like, yeah, give them another crack at
Obsidian versus
Bethesda,
proper. and Obsidian did Outer Worlds.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Obsidian made New Vegas because Bethesda wanted.
When are we getting Outer Worlds 2?
After
coming.
Avowed, it was announced and it's coming. You probably saw
Just
it.
like
It was that thing where they're like, "Hey, this game's coming.
the
We
Switch
only
2
have this."
announcement. It's coming.
Yeah.
Well, theirs is a bit more funny, where they show off this cool CG trailer, and it's like we don't even have a full name yet, just this pre-rendered CGI thing, a character model, and this name, and it said Outer Worlds 2, and they're like, we might have a subtitle, who knows, but it's in development. Thumbs up, and that was it. But we know they got Avowed coming out first, which is their Skyrim.
Let's talk Switch 2 for a second.
Yeah,
because they're saying it's going to be announced in the new fiscal year. It'll definitely come out the same year.
New
Because that's how
fiscal
they
year
work.
is what, like November onward?
It's coming up. Because
Yeah.
I think technically the quarter that we're in is the last quarter of the previous year.
So
But-
they're gonna do their big June thing for the rest of the lineup for the Switch 1.
Yeah.
You think they're gonna hold out some things?
I
Like,
really
they're probably not gonna announce like probably a new fucking Mario game if they're about to go. Here's the new Switch 2.
well that kind of gives me pause because you'd think with something as big as the 1,000-Year Door remake, if I was Nintendo, I would have held that for the new console.
the
That would have
thing.
been guaranteed numbers.
But is that as big as? Well, we know it's big, but does Nintendo think it's that big? 'Cause they haven't done shit with that for years.
Well, they clearly don't because they keep changing the Paper Mario formula, and they're
Yeah.
like, "What else can we do with paper instead of how can we make a like fucking dope game?"
yeah.
So this is just me sidetracking us, but so I got our honeymoon coming up, and one of the big concerns, even though it's like early summer, it's still in the summer and it's in Mexico. Like it could be really fucking hot, and also like and there's a big worry of, sun damage to my skin, even though it's like I'll probably be in the pool a lot and at the bar a lot. But I was like, I need like a backup plan if like the fact that if we're only gonna be like out of the hotel for like 2 hours max during the day, like I need to have a backup plan of just something that we can do in the hotel room. And I was thinking like either
6.
Other than that. Get like I need to find
that was
game,
the first thing.
a game like a Switch game, or do I just fucking buy like a used Steam Deck and bring 2 Xbox controllers? And I'm just trying to think of like games that Carmen and I could spend.
Well, here's the thing.
There's
playing.
plenty of co-op
you
games
can
on
either
both.
you can either bring your Switch and have a couple of games you can play, or you can bring your Steam Deck and play every GameCube game you like, every PS2 game you like, every Steam game you already own.
Yeah.
So probably Steam Deck would be your best bet if you want a bunch of shit, for sure.
I know you can connect one controller. Do you know the ability to connect 2?
You can. I think it's just a little bit more of a hassle.
Okay, because
it's weird trying to connect things to it. You have to go through like weird Bluetooth settings and stuff like that, but it is doable. I've done it.
okay, yeah. And then I just need to get like a cheap Thunderbolt to USB-C, to HDMI.
Take
Don't-
that thing.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say probably don't use cheap because don't you want like specific like voltage wires for the Steam Deck, or is that just for charging?
Just for charging,
Okay, then yeah probably just.
because the output.
You just
It's
have to
really
have like
just
like a 60-watt charger for the Steam Deck, or actually probably 65.
I think it's 65. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that one that we have has passed through, so you can plug it into the thing and it'll charge it while it's playing.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I think Steam said that like the Switch chargers work because it's the same voltage.
I mean, that's
stuff.
the one I'm using right now. My
Yeah.
Steam Deck charger got frayed, so
I have a Steam Deck one. I have the Switch one, and then I bought one of the. I don't know the brand. It's like Z Tech or Z some or other. And that one was like, yeah, this one works for the Steam Deck.
Dude,
Don't worry.
those
'Cause I
Anchor
think-
ones I bought are crazy good. The one that like stays on the couch, that thing's like 100-watt charger, and it has the 3 ports on it, and it charges my phone in like to full in like 20 minutes.
Yeah,
It's
no,
crazy.
we'll be watching an anime. I've got my phone plugged in. Anime's over. I look at it, I'm like, oh fuck, I don't need this anymore.
Yeah.
yeah. I'm like,
Yeah,
all right,
that-
sick.
Anchor makes them really good.
Anchor's
least-
like the best charger like accessories.
Yeah, third-party
for
charger.
sure.
It used to be Belkin, but now Anchor's just
Fell
taken
off.
over.
Well,
Yeah.
it's
Well, also
I think
because
it's less that
Belkin would also
fell off,
charge
but
like
yeah.
absurd amount of prices for like a normal thing. It's
Yeah.
like at least Anchor, I'm paying $40 for like a brick, but it's 100 watts, and again, it charges. I can charge.
Belkin kind of turned
It
into
has
like
a
the
smart
Apple-
thing where like it can tell when Carmen has her laptop in, allocate the full 40 watts to charge hers, and then decrease the wattage of the other devices that require less.
that's smart.
Belkin kind of turned into like what Apple, where it's like, oh, you're paying for the brand name, and it's
Yeah.
like, what the fuck? Why?
I remember when the I can't remember if it was the Switch or the Steam Deck, but when it came out, someone was trying to charge it on their MacBook, and the Switch started charging the MacBook instead of the MacBook charging the Switch.
I wonder what the Switch 2 is gonna be then, because like
Do you think it's
They don't need to change
OLED?
much. It better.
it's depending on who, if you trust leaks, no, it's gonna launch with just
Yeah.
regular screen.
Just come out with 2 versions, like the regular one, and then add $50 and give me an OLED screen.
That's what I want, but I think they might do the same thing where they're gonna launch with the regular, wait a year or two, and then go, here's the OLED model, and I'm like, go fuck yourself. If that's
Well,
the case.
they'll wait a
I'm
year
still
or
gonna
2.
buy it because I want the game, so like it's not gonna affect like too much.
I mean,
but-
yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
You've seen my room.
yeah.
Give it 2 years, and then they'll come out with the Switch 2 Lite, and then 2 more years after that,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Switch.
so
I will say the
OLED.
Switch Lite was pretty dope.
Yeah.
I love the buttons on that thing.
Yeah.
Carmen's one is super sweet because she never, and it just made sense for her because she never plays docked, and I almost exclusively play docked, just because I want to sit on my couch and do that. I'm not much of like a in bed gamer, but
That's been what I've been playing Skyrim on, just because I was like, I need something. I don't want to touch my Xbox. I don't like the Fallout 4 thing. Just made me so pissed at just Xbox, even though it's not their fault. And I was like, fuck it, I want to play my Switch. And then I saw I had Skyrim, and I was like, Skyrim in Vegas. Let me do the coin flip, whatever. Again, This is only a Switch thing, because I don't think any of the other ones can do it. Because they have that HD Rumble, the lockpicking minigame is easy.
Also,
you can feel the sweet spot.
This, but we probably should. Like, you should be signing into your whenever we play like Helldivers together, switching to your profile in here and just playing on a controller in here.
Yeah,
you wouldn't also have to wait fucking an hour for an update.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, but you like his Steam Deck though.
I know, but I just have thought like there's been so many times that we could play games together that maybe ones that aren't great to play on a Steam Deck, especially FPSs.
Yeah. I just enjoy laying on my little belly and kicking my feet in the air.
Yeah. Your feet go like that.
Yeah.
It's just pitter patter in the air.
Did you see that Snapchat that Carmen sent at the airport of that door?
Yeah.
It looked like the Kingdom Hearts door.
She was like, "There's a Kingdom Hearts door here," and I was like, "Don't fucking go through there. You'll get trapped in the realm of darkness." And she was like, "I tried and they wouldn't let me in." And I was like, "Because you're not gay enough to be in there." And then she replied, "Sora and Riku are not gay," with 15 exclamation points.
Kingdom Hearts is just another instance of a Japanese writer who can't write romance unless it's
between a man and a woman.
Well, not even that. They can't when they have to intentionally write romance, they can't do it. But when they go here, write about these two friends, it's the most insane.
They literally have a gay love keyblade that they can only summon when they hold hands.
Dude, I know because we have the same TikTok for you page, but have you seen the TikTok where it's it shows all the characters that's like American made Japanese characters, and then it's Japanese made American characters, and we're just like the two boys hyping each other up.
Yep.
Bro, it's so funny in the Kingdom Hearts thing because the most unofficial gay pairing is Sora and Riku, or like Roxas and Axel and shit.
It's not even unofficial, bro.
Well, the thing is, if he would have kept it like vague or like whatever, but considering that the end of 3 and all this stuff was like so Kyrie centric of look at these two, look at them together, and then the DLC was aggressive. Like now, if you get Remind, the opening screen now shows Kyrie and Sora holding hands or holding a whatever, and it's like, oh yes, he's
how old is Sora?
16.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, he was 16.
Oh, is he now 17?
I think he's 18 and 4.
Do we have? I'm gonna need confirmation. I'm gonna need. Fucking 4 needs to be the next game they put out.
It's not
Why
gonna
wouldn't
be.
it be?
It's gonna be 15 years from now until we fucking hear about it again.
Well, because every time Kingdom Hearts has the worst scheduling.
They also have the worst naming. I'm so confused whenever you guys talk about anything other than 1, 2, or 3.
But the thing is, when those other shitty named games would come out, it's like, okay, it's not a main series game, but we're getting content in between. And now it's just like, here's a mobile app with 2D graphics that looks like dog shit.
That is canon, right?
Yeah, well, it is canon.
They're all canon. And even the ones that were side games were like canon. But we were all just kind of like, yeah, but whenever 3 comes out, this is the next chapter. And then 3 came out and goes, yeah, so all that shit before, you had to have played that or you're not going to understand 3. And you're like,
Kyrie's grandma was definitely the wolf girl, by the way.
100%.
After playing Kingdom Hearts 1, I'm like, yeah, clearly.
That's the thing is, like, a lot of it is like, this is 100% retroactive. But then some of them I'm like, I feel like Nomura was planning something even now. And I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope Kingdom Hearts 4 is the next thing since Nomura's not directing the remake trilogy anymore. I'm hoping that he'll be able to put out 4.
I mean, I fucking hope so, because it's been too goddamn long.
Well, it's either 4 or Dragon Quest 11. I think are probably gonna be the next big thing.
Don't let him do Dragon Quest 11.
Not him. Dragon Quest 11 just in general.
Let him.
Yeah, but like have him working on Kingdom Hearts. Don't let him touch Dragon Quest.
He's
please.
not. But he's never touched Dragon Quest.
When have you
I
been
know,
a
I'm not saying
Dragon
Nomura.
Quest fan?
Why
But
would
that's
Nomura-
a Square Enix thing now. They're like, oh, new game coming out, put fucking
Oh
Nomura
no,
on it.
Dragon Quest. Even Nomura, I think, has said like that's not my shit. I mean,
Good.
When have you been a Dragon Quest fan?
I mean, I love 11 and I love 9.
Okay.
9 is one
What-
of my favorite games of all time.
I feel
was,
like I have
was
never
9
heard you talk about
3DS?
it.
9 was original DS.
Okay.
The only time I've ever heard you've been like liking the IP of Dragon Quest was when you're like, dude, that's the blob controller is the best.
Well,
Even it's the worst, but
yeah, I mean, I do want one, and I looked it up recently, and it's way too much fucking
are
money.
they still like 400?
Yeah.
Because I looked it up to get it for your birthday one year, and then I was like, I'll just stick with the tattoo.
I appreciate the thought. Maybe I'll just get a tattoo of the slime controller.
Tattoo your body of things you can never have.
Yeah, it'll be that. I'll have a back tattoo of the GameCube keyboard.
Mm-hmm. Mine will be just the.
What's the shitty
Neo
Resident
Xeon
Evil?
GameCube.
What's the shitty Resident
the
Evil?
mech warfare.
I have that.
The
chainsaw.
The chainsaw controller?
Yeah, I have that.
Oh shit.
I meant to bring it for our controller episode, and I forgot.
Oh fuck.
It's got like the start button is a ripcord for
Yeah.
a chainsaw. It's
Oh,
awesome.
Doesn't it like fucking suck to hold though?
Oh
Like, to
yeah, it's
play?
awful.
Yeah.
It's terrible to play
It
with.
has
It's so
terrible
cool.
corners.
Yeah.
in all
Yeah,
the
it's-
wrong places.
It's a dog shit controller, but I love it.
But like as a fun little thing to put on the desk, great.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I was gonna say in our very first episode, was that the one that we did our top 10 games of all
Yeah.
time? Dragon Quest 9. I talked about that on there.
Okay, that was ages ago.
It was
Yeah, fuck.
multiple years.
Do we want to do another one of those?
Update the list.
Yeah, like doing a kind of update.
Yeah, there's some other
'Cause
stuff like
I have-
Hades would definitely be like a contender.
Dude, Hades 2 is on early access, isn't it?
Is
No,
it?
it's
I
not.
think it's out.
No, it's not.
Moist Critical is playing it.
Yeah, but
He's most critical though.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure Hades.
I wish I had that sauce to be like, hey, give me that fucking game.
But Hades would definitely be up there, a contender for top 10.
We'll have to come up with an updated thing because we don't even know your top 10.
That's true. We have talked about my top 10 animes, but
Hades 2 is on early access.
I think one of the first times I was on there, I talked about some of my favorite games, but never.
It wasn't a definitive list.
Yeah, and I think things have changed for us.
Yeah, we all need to update.
I've moved some stuff around even because like I replayed games and I'm like, yeah, this doesn't hit as well as it did back then, or like
Assassin's Creed.
things like that.
No, those have all moved out.
There's only one Assassin's Creed game in my top 10 and it's 4.
Black Flag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The rest of them don't even make top
Okay,
like
that's
30.
Fair enough.
Just Black Flag.
It is the best one.
It's not even just Assassin's Creed. Just like holy fuck, we're never gonna get a pirate game like this, huh? Like, because even Sea of Thieves is like fun.
What do you mean,
but, like,
dude? Skull and Bones.
Fuck off.
Game of the year.
Go eat
Quadruple
a
A.
dick.
Quadruple A.
Yeah.
Funded by the Singaporean government.
That one is like
My Crazy Rich
damn.
Asians.
They had to put that one out of that because of that. Like they couldn't cancel that because Singapore helped fund it. They're like, we have to release this.
Give me a Crazy Rich Asians game, goddammit.
Telltale version of it.
Dude, that would be
Yeah.
so fire.
Telltale,
I'd play the fuck out of that.
you make all the decisions based on this family
Like the
Put me
worst
on
decision
Shark
just
Tank
ends
right
with,
now.
Like the son just committing suicide.
Yeah.
in front of his mom to really
Yeah.
fucking sit at home and be like, this is your fault.
Yeah.
That's the bad end. It's just like, damn, you ruined this family.
God, that would
No,
be cool.
I would love to do another episode like that just because I feel like my top. I don't think my top 3 has changed. I mean, those kind of switch just periodically on my mood and what games I'm into. But like, yeah, like, I've added and took some out. Like, No More Heroes was I think number 10 and it got dropped.
I mean, my Yakuza's definitely in my top 10
Yeah, I was gonna
now.
say like now
Which one?
you've done
0.
for sure.
I mean, like, thinking back on it after having played everything now, 0 is still peak for me.
Even with like Kiwami 2 and
At least
Kiwami 2 is a very close second.
At least I finished it.
would you
did.
put Kiwami 2 in the top 10 as well, or is it one of those where or do you try not
I'd
to have
limit
multiple?
it to one.
We talked
per
about
franchise.
moments where I surprised you. That was another one.
Yeah.
Where I booted it up before you even walked in here and like, the fuck is happening?
Yeah. And then the other one is you watching My Hero
Yep.
and lying about things you've seen.
I'm not concerned with myself with things that may or may not be. Dude, so I got in at like 3 a.m. last night, or this morning, and then get a call at like 7:40 this morning from like a superintendent. He's like, "Hey, can you come fix this door?" And I was like, "Hey man, I'm like on like 3 hours of sleep right now. I was just this like, I'll fix it, but I can't believe that I'm answering your call right now." And thankfully the superintendent's like a chill dude, and he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, bud. Like that sucks. Go back to bed."
That's nice.
I was like, "Thank you, Steve, but please just I'll do it. Just stop calling me."
Damn.
Yeah. But we have I guess I can air it out here, but we have a new employee, which I've kind of told you about. Have I?
The one that complains about fucking driving.
No. So Jacob's been there for a while. We have a new guy named, it's here, Felipe, and like I don't know if Jake really knows how to hire normal people. Like Nick, he knew before because they went to church together, so that's not like he's hiring a person that he's never met before. And Jacob's fine, but you know he is. First of all, he just does not stop talking, ever. Like I'll put in headphones and he'll still like see me with headphones, come up to me and just starts talking while I'm wearing my headphones. And then he says things like, "Oh yeah, like I was in, after I got out of jail after like 3 years," and I'm like, And then he goes like, "Oh, actually my ex lives here. It's it's probably good if I get out of here because I don't want to do donuts in her front lawn again, or throw a some burning bottles at her house again." And I go like
he's afraid he's gonna do that. Like, oh yeah, if I see your house, it's just I go crazy.
Yeah, and I'm like,
every time you tell me a story about somebody they're the sketchiest people I've ever heard of.
Yeah.
It's slowly making it. We're like, I think me and BJ are the most normal of Matt's friends. No wonder we've scared him
I'm
off.
not friends with Felipe. He talks so
He's just
much.
a guy in Matt's orbit.
Yeah.
But the people that you do know.
Oh yeah, just people you know in general. Yeah.
Are odd.
Crazy fucking people.
Yeah.
You've lived a good life.
I have.
You met some eccentric.
We were just talking about me with my connections in the text earlier. You're like, use those connections.
What was that about? The lake house.
Oh yeah. So over the weekend, that was a dope thing. Both of my dad's like kayak, or one of my dad's kayaks is like up at the lake house because he was always going up there to go fishing. I saw him and I was like, hey, the last time I went up there was with Kevin and Carmen, and it was a great time. And I talked to him and I was like, hey man, like how's the lake house doing? I didn't want to be the kind of guy who was like, hey, let me come up to the lake house. I was just like, hey, how's the lake house doing? Because last time I was up there, the water levels were abysmal.
Yeah, I remember you showed me a picture of where they usually are, and then how low they were.
Abysmal. And he was like, dude, like with all this rain that we've got in California and other stuff, it's like crazy green right now, and the water levels are so high. And he's like, dude, you gotta get up here. And I was like, you don't have to pull my leg. Like, come on, like, yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
And he's like, yeah, dude, whatever you want, just text me, and you're there. So we got to make it happen. It's a great time. We got 3 rooms, a master, and then a single like queen bed downstairs, and they got bunk beds upstairs as well. But there's plenty of more room to put like air mattresses and other stuff.
Nice.
Oh, it's killer. There's no Wi-Fi except to get like an email, but you can't watch like TikToks or YouTube or anything. And they got a VCR and a DVD player.
So we just need to bring like an armful of DVDs.
I mean, that's the first time I saw the Ewok Adventures was.
Yeah, you guys bought that
this
one
is
off of
pre-Disney Plus too. Yeah. Before they added
it was accessible at all.
Yeah, so
someone had to rip it off of an old VHS.
I spent like $30 for an unopened one because I just wanted to make sure it was like not scratched or anything like that on eBay. So I got an unopened one. It still had stickers on it and everything, and then I watched it and it was amazing. And the whole time, I mean, like I haven't been on benders, but I was definitely on a bender that time. I mean, it wasn't like crazy uncontrollable, but there wasn't I don't think there was.
Yeah, just a steady, constant drinking.
Yeah, and like edibles kind of thing.
Damn.
It was wild. It was a really good time. There was one time though we kayaked around the lake. We just found this like outlet to like get off, and because the water was so low, the banks of the river or the lake were so steep because they're just the normal drop offs of a lake. Were so steep, so I'm climbing up, and there's this like falling down tree, and I'm like walking on the tree, and the tree's still like this at like this angle, and I fall off and just like get so fucked up. And the whole time I was like, I didn't feel shit. And then like the next day I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sore. Like, I fell so hard. And they're like, yeah, you spun down like the hill, and I was like, that's crazy.
I mean, drunk drivers usually survive accidents because their muscles don't tense like that. So.
That's the same thing that they say about people who like survive tornadoes, is they like go unconscious in the air, and then
they just ragdoll and they're fine.
Yeah. So
what you're saying is all these video games where you ragdoll and die are not true?
That's crazy. You ragdoll and live.
Yeah, where you try to get into a car in GTA 5 and you slip on a banana peel and die for some reason.
I wonder how GTA 6 is going to be like gameplay wise, because I really
oh yeah, that's a thing.
I really hope
the Kingdom Hearts 4 for normal people.
Yeah. yeah. Kingdom Hearts 4 for non-autistic people.
That's a great point.
I wonder how it's going to play.
Is it this year? It can't be.
2025.
Okay.
I do wonder
we'll
though.
See.
Well, yeah, it could easily get delayed. I mean, it's apparently has a budget of $1 billion.
Aren't they not going to release it on PC too? Isn't that the whole like a big?
Rockstar has never released a game on PC. It's always console first, and then they get a port.
But are they not getting a port though?
No, it's going to get a port
immediately. They are going to work on one, but it's not going to be a day.
They're going to make sure the game works on console, and they're going to port it to PC like they always do.
Gotcha.
Well, I say like they always do. Like they only haven't done it for one fucking game, because they made one game in the past decade. But oh no, Red Dead 2, same thing. Yeah, so never mind. Which that's another thing. Red Dead 2, like. I have my gripes with that game, but like I really hope GTA 6 does not follow through on no, dude, realism. Clearly, your character can only hold one pistol in their pocket at one time.
Yeah, like you have to heat up the spoon, and then you have to.
That's not true. That would defeat GTA's
That's what I'm saying. Is like
GTA.
To me, GTA is the best open world sandbox. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
In terms of like, oh, I'm not doing missions right now.
I mean, they've always
the rocket
had
launcher
single-player
out my ass.
cheats,
yeah.
like, where you could spawn in vehicles.
But like, I feel like with how popular Red Dead 2 got, I'm like, I hope they don't take.
I disagree because of how popular GTA 5 was.
The GTA 5 is super popular, don't get me wrong, but I feel like the online component, they could be like, yeah, that like, to me, the worst thing they could learn is going, well, the online is where you can do all the crazy shit, but our single player experiences, we want to be like really. I'll be like, no,
but GTA 5 actively goes against that with the character of Trevor.
Yeah. I'm just worried about the game. I don't know, and I don't know if I need to be.
I mean, I'll play single player, maybe multiplayer for some heists, but I doubt I'm going to play much multiplayer.
I'm going to play the single player, and that's that.
I mean, GTA 5 single player was
amazing.
Awesome.
It's incredible.
Awesome. Amazing.
I remember when that came out, I bought it, and then I brought it home, and I was going to play it on my 360. I didn't have a big enough hard drive for it. I was like, fuck, I have to go back to GameStop today.
Dude, the best part about, I mean, I always do this. It's just me just being a kind of a dick. But every time I boot up GTA, I'm always like, I've been here. This is where this is. This is where this is.
Every time we watch a fucking movie.
I know. This weekend, I sent you a picture of the hotel from Little Miss Sunshine.
Yeah, no, you put in the group chat or the Snapchat where you're like, hey, look. No, and when you said that for like a second, that's why I texted you. I was like, is the honeymoon now? What the fuck happened? Like, because I was like, because in my head, I remember
my mom is getting knee replacement surgery, and also it was like on the 14th, and then they also had the 15-year anniversary for my mom's nonprofit. So,
for a while, I was literally be like, I was gonna text Beach and be like, you want me to come over now? Like, what? Like, are they gone for like a month?
That's why you sent me that text.
Yeah, I was like,
Friday.
yeah. When are y'all going on the honeymoon? Because that's the thing is, I promised BJ, I was like, I will be here, and then the fact that like I haven't gotten a confirmation on when that fucking is, so I'm like, I literally was like, are they gonna be gone for a month? What the fuck?
Yeah, but that was just right down the road, and it's just fun.
Did you go to the pier and then look out into the water and be like, oh man, this is where Steve Carell and Paul
I'm
Dano.
colorblind. Fuck.
Yeah, you drive by that spot and then roll down the hill and start screaming fuck.
Now I mean, like the biggest one though, which was wild to me, was watching Parks and Rec and having the Pawnee, like the what is it? Not the Capitol, but the like. In Parks and Rec, the
City Hall.
City Hall is Pasadena City Hall.
Yeah, I mean, we were watching the shitty Knight Rider reboot, and they go to that bridge, and you were like, "Oh, I know exactly where that bridge is, Mom, it's the bridge."
Yeah, Suicide Bridge.
Nice name.
That's what we call the Natchez Trace Bridge, you city slicker.
I mean, that is a definitely more impressive bridge, for sure. But
way more suicide points for that one.
Yeah, it is crazy that the guardrail only goes up like 3 feet on that thing.
Yeah, they care, but not that much.
Yeah, like the after like high school, which we called Suicide Bridge because that's where people would go. Like it's not, we didn't just call that for nothing. They put up like fencing along.
Yeah, the fence that like goes up and over.
Yeah, that curves back over. Yeah,
Yep.
they put that up there.
As Trace is like, I mean, you can do it, but we're gonna make you think about it a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. I've walked it so many times, like with family members, just showing them because it's a very pretty spot. And the Natchez Trace is incredible.
That bridge scares the fuck out of me.
Yeah, anytime I'm there with Carmen, I'm always like,
Yeah.
you're not getting fucking close to this.
I had to
edge.
drive over there to go to a funeral once, and I was in the car with my parents, and I was like, "Are we getting to the bridge?" My dad was like, "Yep," and I went. I just held my breath.
That was last
week.
week.
That realistically, that was like 2 years ago.
I mean, like, I can't deal with heights like that, and even then, yeah, that bridge, it's like, we're fucked if anything goes wrong.
Yeah, like there's nothing you can do at that point.
No.
Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep.
We're there.
It is different though, because I've flown on planes so often. So it's like, because I also get freaked out by heights. Even though I've grew up rock climbing and doing all these kind of
I
things.
feel-
I'm fine once I'm up in the air, but the takeoff scares me.
Oh, see, like no part of it, even like turbulence, I'm like, we're fine. Like you're more likely to get hit by lightning than like, even though now all these fucking Boeing employees are getting like sick and dying.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
uh,
I'll just take a boat.
Did y'all?
I wanted to do train rides, like
I want to go on a fucking train ride so bad, like an overnight train ride.
Dude, that'd actually be really fun.
There's parts of it that are fun, but it is like when you think about like I've always thought, let me take a train to California. It's like a fucking long train ride, like over a day and travel. When I think about like,
that's because our rail system is fucking dog shit too.
you also have to go to Memphis to get on the actual big train line
And
that takes you. That's the one that's like connected to New Orleans. Like, because I was thinking,
You'll die before you even get on the train.
Yeah, exactly.
I was down there for 2 years. We'll be fine.
Dude,
Yeah, look at you.
I was in Memphis. I was in
didn't
Memphis
die.
for like 3
Just
days.
ego death.
For 2 days doing a job. And at the Airbnb, there was like gunshots on the street every night. It was horrific. And I
Yeah.
live in Pasadena, where it's like, I still hear gunshots. Like,
Well, Memphis is like one of the worst, isn't it? Like one of the worst crime places in the world.
Yeah, it'll make you fucking grab your Martha Wayne pearls even if you're not wearing
that's
any.
what also scares me, that like people live in Chicago. Like, I just don't. I don't.
Well, I mean, it's one of those
understand
things
that.
where like some people just can't fucking leave. Like the amount, like the money to get out is like we don't have it.
But like,
Type shit. So, but yeah.
I mean, but also like there's like art schools and art college. I'm like, why would people ever?
Why would
like,
you willingly go to Chicago?
Yeah, go to Chicago, which is like again.
The best art comes from pain.
I got a point. Yeah.
You got a point.
I would be down though to do like a train ride.
For
Like,
sure.
Yeah.
But like
that'd
as I
actually be
said,
so sick.
when I like weigh my options, is like, oh, what if I took a train down to California? It's like it might cost a little bit less, but then it's like, but then I'm on a train
I'll take a
for
train
24 hours.
when I go to Europe.
I see. You're
Well,
saying
Europe's also the size of Tennessee.
yeah.
Yeah, I know, but like going from one country in Europe to another country, I could do that.
Yeah, for sure. That's
Well,
at most
dude,
like
have you seen
an
the,
hour and a half.
Have you seen the
train
people like
ride.
freaking out over like, bro, like why do Americans go to other places in America for vacation? That's stupid. Go out of the country. And people were putting like the whole United States on top of like most of Europe, but it's like
Texas is the size of the European continent.
and it's like
of not
that's
just of like of like the not just like England, but
The
like
whole,
all
like,
of
United
Europe.
Kingdom, yeah.
So you're talking Scotland. Yeah, like
it's like you're traveling to Scotland is me going to
like
fucking
this is also inclinging like
New
Italy
Jersey.
and
Yeah.
like
I remember
fucking
this.
Greece.
There was this tweet a while back where this girl was talking about how she never gets to see her dad because he lives so far away. She only gets to see him like once every like year and a half. And everybody was like, "Oh, where does he live?" And she's like, "Oh, he's on the other side of like Europe." And then someone map quested it, and it was a 45-minute drive.
it's like just fucking
I'm like,
drive.
"Fucking kill yourself."
Like Carmen and I, when we first met each other, we're 45 minutes away, and that's with like no traffic. That's at like 10 o'clock at night.
That's what's so funny to me is it's like you see like these like people in the UK. It's like bro, it's like a fucking 2-hour drive down to here to see. I'm like, bro, that's
It's 2-hour drives to get somewhere else in Tennessee. Goddamn.
And like,
Yeah, like,
is it now thinking as
driving
an adult,
across to going to East Tennessee would take me 2
Like,
hours.
this is also, like-
what the fuck?
being high school, there's like me and Carmen like in love, like love crazy, normal high school love shit.
Yeah, filming stupid little videos.
Yeah,
lip
that's right,
syncing.
exactly. But like
And put the video in. Okay.
When she was going to college, because she was a year before me, she had later classes in the day, so she would help me get to like my senior year. When she like maybe like every 2 weeks, she would wake up at like 5 a.m. to drive through traffic to come pick me up from my house, go get Starbucks, drop me off in school, and then drive back to like where her college was.
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah. And it's like in the moment I was like, oh, this is sweet, like, you know, like I love her and she has a car, so that's really cool. And then I'm like, that's insane.
Yeah, like that's true love right there.
Yeah. So it's just and it's like, oh, but like my dad lives 45 minutes away and I only see him once a year.
Like
Yeah,
that
like
is
you're just not putting in any effort.
Yeah.
I mean, because I've seen like other videos of like now with, you know, TikTok and social medias, the you know, people from Europe, they're like, I'm gonna travel in America and see what it's like there, and everyone's like, America's fucking dope. Like I've seen so much stuff that I never thought I would see all within one country.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing is like when you look at like Europe, Italy, like all these places, like, well, yeah, those are like they have a culture for Italy, for Scotland, for this. When you go to America, it's like you got the South, the West Coast, East Coast. You
And
got
even
like
then,
the
different states
Midwest.
have different traditions, things like that.
It literally feels like a bunch of small countries in one big mega country, which is what it is. Pretty much, it feels like. And it's like, yeah, you look at that and you're like, yeah, no wonder like people are like they like
Because even you have like England, and then you have the United Kingdom, which includes like Wales and other stuff, and then you have on top of that like the European Union, which is like includes like like they have like all these like 3 different terms for just like a tiny area on the map.
Yeah.
Well,
it's
even
like
then, you go from
fucking-
like Wales to like Europe and like all these like there. Even that's like different, but those are considered different countries or different whatever. You go to like Tennessee to fucking Florida and Texas. Those are 3 very different spots in
like
one
our
country.
terms for like
Yeah.
we have the South, the Deep South, the Midwest. You know,
You've got obviously the North. You've got the East Coast, West Coast.
yeah.
Like that. Because yeah, you look even in fucking like rap. Look at fucking West Coast rappers. Look at like Southern rappers from like Atlanta and
Memphis rap shit.
Memphis rap shit. You go to things like New York. Just that alone is different as shit. Versus you go to like the UK rap and it's all the same.
Yeah.
I say that as
Tingo
someone
Blah 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 blah.
what's that dude? Central C is the big one. I've seen some stuff of his and I'm like, I don't get it, but hey,
The only music I've recently found that I like that comes out of Europe is drum and bass.
Let's say they kind of nail the like dance EDM stuff. Aren't they like the progenitors of them all pretty much?
Of drum and bass is almost
Yeah.
all good drum and bass now comes out of.
Is
Yeah.
Ed Sheeran British?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, fuck with Ed Sheeran. But
He's
what was his most recent?
he's
a
a
Lannister.
Lannister soldier.
Yeah.
And he's the only good Lannister soldier.
What movie was he in, or that where he's like, I'm Ed Sheeran. I was in Game of Thrones. As they're like dragging him away. What fucking movie was that?
Wasn't that fucking This Is the End?
It was either this. Yeah, I think so. Where he was like, I'm Ed Sheeran. I was in Game of Thrones. I've got a #1 album. What the fuck? Let me go. Like, and they're just dragging him away. Bro, This Is the End is so good.
Yeah,
So
I love
funny.
that movie.
That's one of those movies that I fear watching again because now I feel like I'm like, would I still find half this shit funny?
I mean,
Or-
I worry about that sometimes, and then I rewatch it, and then I'm like, no, it's still good.
But
'cause I rewatched-
I had that same feeling with what's the epic movie, and there was laughs, but it was different styles. Like one, I was like, this is so stupid, so it's funny. Previously, I was like, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen
Yeah,
in
like
my life.
unironically funny versus
Yeah.
ironically funny.
Yes. And that was weird to me because then there were definitely times where like I saw a joke and I was like, that was just dumb and cringy, and before I'd be like, that's top tier comedy
One of my
right
favorite parts of
there.
that movie is Kevin Hart in whiteface.
Yes.
Before we end the episode, do you guys want to recap the last session of Cyberpunk? I kind of want to make that a thing
Okay. Yeah.
every week.
Yeah.
So we dealt with what could have been.
It
the
was
biggest-
traumatic.
Yeah.
It was fucking traumatic, and I also need to come in with it because like I'm really trying to roleplay. I'm really trying, and I think you definitely see that because I really feel like I'm trying to be my character and unlike myself, and then trauma hits, and I'm like, fuck, I forget that this is like this is cyberpunk world where shit fucking happens to everybody all the time.
Can't have shit in Night City.
Exactly.
We ain't even in
And
Night
we're
City
not
yet.
even in Night City
And
yet.
so that's where I'm like, I have to hold those two things in balance, at least these next upcoming things. But because then it's like, do I just like shrug it off? Or because a normal character would also be like, no, like this shit impacted me, and now I'm gonna react.
I don't
to
want
that.
you to shrug it off. I want you to keep reacting.
Okay.
'Cause that's why I do it.
Okay, but the thing is though, like I
No,
feel like,
think about it this way.
But you get what I'm
the
saying
less
is
you
that,
react, the more he's gonna throw shit at us to make you react.
but what I will say though, it does feel like in character to be like, this is just something that happens, and I don't react to it. That feels like more.
There's like a fine line of like just not reacting and like the boiling pot that's starting to boil over. And
I
like,
mean, I feel like that's already been in my character.
It's like
though.
what is the threshold of
I know.
boil over an
So
explosion?
we
You know what I mean?
we have had some. We're in Chicago with Alofa. We went through our deep dives with our brain dances, Luke and I.
I got to see my dead ass dad.
I got to see some woman, some kimono wearing ass woman, and
Assumed to be Arasaka because it was on the Arasaka chip.
yes, and so it turns out, and then I'm interviewing, not
Interview.
yeah,
What an interview.
Interrogating.
Did he get the job?
interrogating, the guy who was the Biotechnica, at least chief there at the Chicago offices, and brings up my uncle, or no, my grandpa again. I beat the shit out of because I'm just tired of this, and we extract some information that Akari is definitely Arasaka, which again corroborated with the chip that's the case. Then we find out that Merle stole the Caldwell chip before we got there, and
He's having his own adventure.
he's having his own and on his way to Zion. And as we learned this,
I come up with a really good mechanic you guys are really gonna like for this one.
okay. We'll see.
Oh,
I'm really gonna like it.
If it's
I
what I
can't wait
think
for
it
this
is.
bit to be over
It
because
is.
I know you're just trying to bust my balls. And
You know
It'll
the bits
never be
Yeah, I was
over.
gonna say there's no over.
at least in Cyberpunk,
Yeah.
yeah,
No, trust me, it's gonna come back up again sometime.
dude, I'll be king of the freeboarders if I need to.
We start a whole gang of freeboarders.
Like the fucking moped kids and Boba Fett.
No, they'll be really cool and they'll be faster, a lot faster than these 2 mile per hour moped kids. Okay.
Hopefully, if you've got a slight incline and some dubstep.
Please, some of you put the song on the.
I don't have a playlist, and I have not.
I can tell you the song if you want it.
Okay, yeah.
I was saying,
got you.
if, like
I
not
also
a
need
playlist,
that Spotify for this week.
I got you. Okay.
not just a playlist, just that song that you're like, okay.
Yeah, I
we
need to
this.
find a 6-hour loop.
If you can find it on YouTube, you can loop it. I think.
So we did that, and then as we were leaving the empty compound where we found Merle had left to Zion from, there was an explosion back at Chicago PD.
Which you are a devious motherfucker because I love that he's rolling dice, flipping coins behind the scenes, and we're like, what the fuck?
I
didn't
told
tell you this.
He told me.
But the part where they're trying to restart Alofa's heart, I was rolling death saves.
Oh shit! Oh, dude.
Every time they use the paddles, it was another roll.
Were
You didn't tell him the other thing though,
Oh, about how he saved on the second one, and I just did the third one for dramatic
and
effect.
that's not even the thing. The thing I'm talking about is that he rolled previously to see if the explosion was going to happen.
Oh yeah, no,
with us.
he told me that. Yeah, I was there for that one.
Because that was one of the rolls
Yeah.
that I did where you guys looked up at me. You were talking about something, and then you looked up at me, and I was like,
That's what I was gonna bring up was the fact that he rolled to be like, and we're like, what do you mean? And it was literally just to see if the explosion happened while we were there or not.
So
I'm like,
Alofa
that's-
got very critically injured on death's door.
I am glad that you did that though, because I feel like it would have been emotional if you were just like, fuck it, let him die. But you're like, no, let me gamify it a bit. Let me. He's a character. I've rolled for him.
Apparently, though, he
death
saved
saves.
on both the first two.
yeah, the first two after that he was fine, and I
But-
just did the third one to make
Just to-
Matt upset.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm ready to.
That's still funny though.
I'm ready to have inner turmoil about vengeance or being a good cop.
There's so much turmoil coming. I already know the ending of this campaign, and it's gonna blow your fucking minds.
We met Vic.
Yeah, which you didn't I knew immediately when he said boxing. I'm like, oh, I know this guy. And you're the whole time like, and I'm like, I'm doing the same thing we always do. We're like, did you notice it yet? We just keep looking at him, and the whole time, I don't know if I looked at it, if we looked at each other. But there was a time I literally looked at you, was like,
Yeah, you were looking at me, and I just did a subtle nod while Matt was like looking over his sheet.
and I just keep looking at Matt, and like,
You guys both got some new chrome too.
Yeah.
I got a shield, which is hopefully gonna work out for me.
I got a grenade arm.
Yeah, I was tempted. I was like, do I want it? I'm like, no, fuck it. I'm gonna get the shield because I think it'd be kind of cool to have the fucking sword.
It's
and
on the
shield.
offhand from the microwaver too.
Yeah,
right?
so I can go. I would say like probably in the same turn I could do both.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bro, literally doing like what
Because I can
like
already
the
throw
two guns
grenades.
things.
yeah.
Having the gun and a grenade where you're just like overkill and shit.
It's that scene from Edge Runners where after David gets chromed up like after the main episode.
Yeah,
where
and
they're
he's
in the
jacked.
hallway and he just blows the guy up from point blank.
I've been wanting to rewatch that anime. It's so
It was
good.
fun rewatching it with Carmen.
It's so good.
She didn't get as emotional as I did. I was very like, come on, cry. This is really emotional.
I wonder if we're
Be
gonna
sad,
see,
aren't you sad? Be sad with me.
I'm very excited to where you've got this going because like the mystery is so interesting to me. Where I'm like, okay, so what's up with Biotech?
I am glad though
I've
that
been-
you gave us a little bit of direction because I was like, I'm about to chase this guy down before I go to Zion. Like, fuck Zion. Like, I'm about to chase the killer of my best friend.
You
Like,
sure? You sure
yeah.
that was the whole reason you were just like, I'm not going to Zion. BJ can try to make me. I'm not going to Zion.
Hey, I'm here. All right. As I said, if I need to be king of the freeboarders, I'll do that.
It was between Zion and Las Vegas, and I had a whole like plan for Las Vegas, and I'd scrapped that whole thing for Zion.
Really.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
were you gonna go? Were you gonna go full in like New Vegas style, like kind of take from that? Or?
Well, it was gonna be more like Horizon, where it's completely overrun and just sand everywhere. I was gonna have the neon still work, but it was gonna be mostly a like a nomad outpost.
A little bit of that Blade Runner scene where he goes to the scene to find.
Yeah,
Deckard.
a lot like that.
Nice.
It was just going to be a bunch of clans like mingling in this area, intermingling and trading and stuff. But I'll save that for the third arc of this campaign,
Okay.
because after this arc, there's going to be some crazy shit, and then yeah.
Sounds good.
What? How many? Where do you think we're gonna go from Night City? Like, can you imagine how many?
I know exactly where you're going to go, and I can't tell you at all.
Well, I mean, like, how many sessions you think you think we can probably? nail?
I think because I'd like to get Zion done in the next session, and then after that, I have some shit that I need you to do in Night City.
Okay.
And then Night City is kind of the end goal for this arc.
Okay. And then you want us to keep kind of going for just.
Yeah, like
Is this arc? Is the Biotechnical like the whole storyline, and this is just arc one of that, and then we're gonna keep going? Well, I guess.
well,
don't
biotech.
spoil, but
This the whole cult thing. That's kind of this arc.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I have something else that you guys have already kind of dealt with. That's going to cause the second
Nice.
line of storytelling of what we're going to do.
Very.
Is it the
very-
Morgan Blackhand shit?
Yeah.
I have been intentionally not like reading into too much lore because I don't want to like maybe spoil something on my.
I
first-
only know based off of what I've been giving in the game. Which
Yeah,
is
and I'm kinda like-
minimal at most.
The nice thing about most of the Morgan Blackhand lore that you can find outside of like the Mr. Blue Eyes theory stuff is like it pretty much ends at the tower.
and no one knows where the fuck he is.
Yeah. So if you wanted to read up on it, you can.
And
It's not
Phantom
gonna
Liberty
affect
doesn't
anything.
touch on it at all, or does it?
I think he shows up at least at one point in Phantom Liberty, like Mr. Blue Eyes, if it is in fact Morgan Blackhand, but I don't think it ever gives a definitive fate for him.
Do you think? Because I don't think we're ever gonna see V again. I think with whatever the sequel is gonna be a new protagonist. Do you think we'll see Morgan Blackhand? Do you think ever in the games, like actually, or do you think they'll keep that as like he's like super legend status? We can't touch him.
I mean that's what I would have said about Johnny Silverhand if I'd known anything about it before I got into the game. But like I think they'll
But
do
that's
something.
an easy ride in though, because he's not actually alive. He's just an Ingram, so that's an easy ride in.
And
Yeah,
it's all from like Johnny's fucked up point of view. We can easily go. That's not how it happened.
And they could do more with Morgan because they never, at least from what
I
I've
mean,
read.
I don't distrust CD Projekt Red making a bad story for
But
the
they
next
they
game.
also didn't touch. They didn't really touch Biotechnica at all in 2077.
That's true.
So I think the next
I think
game
at
will
most
probably
it was,
be
like, just some side quests, right?
some side quests where they're like kind of offhandedly mentioned.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Whatever. Yeah. I know we got Witcher 4 between that, but like I'm actually very excited for Cyberpunk 2.
me too.
Do you think Witcher 4 is going to be... no, because I said it's nobody that we've met before. I was really hoping for a young...
I'm
Vesemir.
assuming they're gonna pull like
so good.
an Elder Scrolls ago. This is like way in the future where we're not gonna even fucking touch Geralt shit.
Especially because, like, even if you dealt with young Yesemir, you could have even dealt with, like... Again, this is pre the fall of Witcher stuff. You could have been... Yeah. Like, you could have recruited people, like...
That would be cool.
You could even go into the past even further than that, where it's like, what's the first Witcher? What are the first like Witcher schools? And
That
stuff
would be
like
pretty
yeah, like
tight.
the calamity. Essentially,
Yeah.
it would have been like the calamity of the dark, the dark portals opening up, or the dark magic bringing in the monsters.
And literally being like, here's the first Witcher, and that's your character, because that's such a legendary person that you could just have like.
Well,
it's been so
especially
long, we
when
don't
like
know.
it would have been really cool seeing, because again, Witchers were like at first well received because they're like, oh, they're here to combat this, and then people are like, you're from the same magic that brought these monsters. We fucking hate you.
Man, I do love themes of dark magic.
That was suspicious, wasn't it?
a little
Luke?
bit.
All right, with that,
Take it sleazy.